Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Blackout. So, tonight we're going to be talking about transits. And this is a highly requested video or discussion, I should say. It's not really a video, it's more of a discussion where we're going to be talking about the phases that happen in your life. Why do certain things happen in your life? Why do bad things happen to some people and good things happen to some people? Why does this happen? What does this all mean? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait about 1 minute. I'm going to put on some meditation music so we can clear the air, and then I'm going to get started. Okay, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I do take questions at the end of the discussion, so I will be talking about the topic. And at the end, you could think about your questions, whatever you want to ask me. And hopefully, if we don't get too many questions, I can get to everyone. Okay, so let's do a 1 minute meditation together to clear the air, and then I'll be back. All right, everyone. So I think we're ready to get our discussion started for tonight. So, the first thing I want to start off by saying is if you're just tuning in now, I did mention that we will be talking about transits. Just give me 1 second to adjust here. All right. So, we're going to talk about transits tonight. So, what is a transit in astrology? What is a transit? What does it mean? Why do you need to know it? How is it going to help you in the new world? Okay. This channel, the reason why I created it, for those of you who are new, if you're just tuning in with us for the first time, the reason why I created this channel was to enlighten you, to allow you to open your mind to all the things that you don't know, to become smarter, to become more aware. So the transits that happen in astrology have a lot to do with why certain things happen in your life. Why do certain things happen in your life? Why do good things happen in your life? And why do bad things happen in your life? Why do you go through hard times and other times in your life, things are very smooth? Have you ever thought that? Have you ever wondered why that is? Well, it's called phases, which are considered transits in astrology. Okay, so an example of a transit would be what we're going through right now in 2020. There's major transits that are happening. And if you know about transits and you're aware of them, you will be able to predict. You will be able to know, just like Nostradamus. Nostradamus was able to do a lot of predictions. And this primarily came from the fact that he was able to see the transits that were going to happen in the near future. Okay. And if you study the planets and you study the areas of life, you will know when certain planets line up and things line up that there is a potential for certain phases to happen. Okay. So this is how Nostradamus, or however you say his name, predicted things. Okay. This is how I do a lot of my predictions on the Tarot channel. And that's only one factor. I don't only use astrology in my tarot readings, but it is one primary factor. So a transit can last for a number of years. It can last for a number of weeks. It can last for a number of days. It can last for a number of seconds, even. Okay, so it really depends on what area of your life is primarily important. And you will know what house is primarily important to you because you will already have a lot of planets in that house. Okay, for example, let's say you are a rising Aries and you have a lot of planets in the seventh house in Libra. If a planet transits your seventh house and it touches all those planets, those natal planets. A natal planet is a planet that was in your chart at a specific location at birth, and a transiting planet is touching those planets, those natal planets in the seventh house. That is considered a major transit, okay, because it's going to be touching your planets that are going to be affecting you every single time a planet hits that area. So a transit, it can affect the collective, it can affect the individual, it can affect everyone, okay, on different levels. But it's going to affect you more when it hits your natal planets. Okay. Now, if you're new to astrology, you may not know your natal planets. The way you can find that out is by looking up free astrology charts online, typing in your birthday, your city, where you were born, all of that information, okay? And a chart will come up. And that's something that you should be studying, okay? If you don't know how to do that, I will be providing possibly courses or individual one-on-one sessions, okay, where you can speak to me. Or I may come on in the near future and do like a personal video where I'm showing my face, maybe sometime in the future, not now, because I'm going through my awakenings and doing what I need to do. And I'm also a very private person. So, I don't really like to go on camera. I'm not a big ego fanatic. I'm a very private person. Okay. Now, one of the things I'm going to personally share with you, and I usually don't personally share stuff with the collective, but I will. On this channel, I will share a lot of personal stuff. On the other channel, not so much, because the other channel is all about tarot and I want to keep it that way. But one of the things that I've noticed for me right now, I have a lot of planets that are going to be going into my 12th house, which is a transit. Okay. When planets hit your 12th house, it's your house of wanting to be alone. It's your house of looking within. It's your house of the subconscious. So I have a lot of planets that are going there. Mercury is going to be there. The sun is going to be there. When you have planets transiting your 12th house, there's a lot of wanting to be in solitude. And this could be one of the reasons why I don't care to show my face. I don't care to be on camera. So some of you may feel that way. If you're a rising Libra like myself, you may feel like that right now. Okay. So you need to ask yourself if you're going through, and I know a lot of you that are watching this, maybe you're going through a hard time right now. A lot of people are having a lot of trials in 2020. It's been a very difficult year for a lot of people. And you have to ask yourself, because I think 76% of you voted that you watch this channel for self improvement and self growth. So you need to ask yourself this very important question. And the important question comes down to this: why am I going through certain things in my life? You know, for example, why did I lose my job? Why am I alone? Why am I single? Why am I a single parent? Why, like, was I cursed? Was I cursed? Because that's the first thing we say, right? About ourselves. We say, "Oh, I must be cursed. This is why I'm single, or this is why nobody loves me," or whatever you say to yourself. And we all say those things to ourselves at some point in our life, okay? It's not that you're cursed. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're evil. It's that you're going through a transit in astrology. That's what it is. And from my point of view, I personally believe, from all of these years studying astrology for 21 years and being so lost in my life, I was so lost in my life for so long. I was like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Oh my God, I just want to kill myself. I don't understand what's going on. Yes, I was in those phases. So I can talk about them. I'm not perfect. So I want you all to know that. I'm not, some perfect person that I don't have problems in my life. Trust me, I've been through my fair share of problems. And I think, and I've seen people who've been suicidal, and I've seen people who've had a lot of trauma in their life, and they always seem to blame themselves. Like, oh, it's, maybe it's my fault. And no, it's not your fault. It's a phase. And I don't think the media or society really talks about this stuff. They don't really talk about it because it's too pseudosciency. It's too like it's not mundane. It's not something that we normally talk about, but it's something that we will talk about in the new world, because mental health is on the rise. There's a lot of shifts going on. A lot of people are having a hard time coping with the pandemic. We have a lot of things that we need to look at as a society. Okay. So part of that has to do with these transits. And once you recognize where these transits are not only happening in your personal life, but in the collective as well too, you're going to become very smart, and you're going to be ahead of everyone else. And these hard phases, which a lot of us are going through right now in 2020, if you're aware of them, then they're not going to affect you as much. What I like to do is I like to use analogies in my discussions. I'll give you an example. So often I say, isn't it so much nicer to know that there's a detour down that road, whatever, 5 miles away or 5 kilometers away? Wouldn't it be nice to know that you can avoid that mess? I would love to know how I can avoid that mess in my life. The way you find that out is by looking at the transits. Okay. I'll give you another example, personal example from myself. And then I want to keep this video short because I don't want to be on here too long. I want to get some rest. I have Mars in my seventh house right now. I'm a rising Libra. So I have Mars in my seventh house retrograding. I have a lot of projects I'm doing. I have a lot of people I'm working with. And there's people that I get along with, and there's people I don't get along with. There's people that argue with me, there's people that don't argue with me. What I'm learning right now with Mars in the seventh house for me is that, um, you know, uh, I can't always rely on people to get stuff done for me, especially in this time because Mars is retrograding. Mars is all about the will center and the power and the productivity. And when it's retrograde, there isn't really a lot of productivity. So, the advice that I would give to myself, and this is what I'm showing you all that you can do to for yourself. The advice I'd give to myself is make a note to yourself that next time, if Mars ever does retrograde in your seventh house, you're already going to be experienced based on whatever happened before, which is be careful who you work with, be careful who you, give your money to, be careful who you are collaborating on things with. These are going to be very important times in your life when planets are retrograding and they're transiting certain areas because there's something there that you need to learn. A lot of people like to look at situations in their life and they want to get angry. They want to get mad. They want to start blaming and pointing fingers and saying, oh, this person's wrong. It's not about that. It's about what can I take from this situation right now? What can I learn from it so that next time I can make a note so I don't have to go through this again? Do you ever hear people that say, oh my God, I can't believe I went through this? Like, this keeps happening to me. Why does this keep happening to me? You want to know why? You want to know why it keeps happening to you? It keeps happening to you because you're not learning from it. So these transits happen in our life all the time. It's like Saturn. Okay, Saturn is a great uh, task maker, the planet that teaches us a lot. So when it starts going retrograde, and Saturn usually retrogrades maybe 2 or 3 times out of the year, maybe 2 times out of the year. I don't know. Don't quote me, but it retrogrades quite often. It's an outer planet. So when Saturn goes retrograde in a certain area and it's transiting in your chart, those are major lessons that you have to learn. And sometimes we don't want to learn them or we avoid learning them. And they have to be repeated over and over and over and over again. And this is why in our life, we often ask ourselves, why do I keep going through this? Here's the thing. If you're aware of transits and you're going through a hard time in your life, you need to identify where that transit's happening, and then you need to learn, and then you need to apply. A lot of people, they learn. They learn, learn, learn. They do all this learning and they never apply. They never apply. And when they don't apply, it's a waste. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it's a waste of energy. So the transits that are happening in your life, either now or before, in the past or in the future, are going to teach you something. And it doesn't mean getting angry. It doesn't mean getting mad or upset. It's about, okay, I need to identify this phase that's happening in my life. And once I identify it, how can I apply the knowledge that I learned from this experience so that I don't have to go through this again for a fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh time? A lot of people, I'm going to say this, and when I say it, some of you may agree with me, some of you may not. And you have to remember, you're not always going to agree with me. The way I think, I don't think I've met anybody that thinks like me. And I'm not trying to say I'm better than everyone else. I just have a different way of thinking. And I hope that society applies my way of thinking to their personal lives because it will be better for them. One of the things I noticed today, and I do a lot of observation. Like when I go outside, when I deal with people, I do a lot more. Like if you ever meet me, and you're probably never going to meet me in person, but if you ever see me or just meet me, if that ever happens, you will see that I'm a very silent person. I talk a lot. online, but I don't talk a lot in person. I do a lot of observing. I like to watch and observe, and that's how I learn. One of the things I've noticed in the world is there's a lot of people just shifting through life. They literally just shift through life. It's like they don't like their job. They don't like what they're doing. They don't like their life. And they just shift. That's it. They just, like I was at the grocery store today and I bought some food at the grocery store, and the cash register person that was doing the swiping of the food, I mean, just like didn't even want to be there. Didn't want to be there. Okay? So again, that is considered a transit in that person's life. And they have to identify why they're there. Why are you there and not somewhere else in this phase of your life? People get so depressed, they get so emotional over a short period of, time in their life. And what they forget to realize is this is only going to be for a short period of time. And then eventually, this is going to change. But what are you learning from it? Right? So, how to identify transits? How do you identify a transit? Well, the planets are constantly moving, constantly. So, if I was going to ask you a question, some of you may know this, some of you may not. If I said, in what sign is the sun transiting? In what sign is the sun transiting? So, this is the part where you all answer in the live. Okay, so if someone can answer the question, if I asked you and I said, what sign is the sun transiting in? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what sign the sun is currently transiting? In tropical astrology. I don't do sidereal, I do tropical. Okay, so nobody is answering. So the sun is currently transiting in the sign of Virgo. So what you would do is you would find, where is Virgo in your chart? So as I said, for myself, I'm a rising Libra. Virgo is in my 12th house. So therefore, the sun is in my 12th house, the house of the subconscious, the house of Pisces. Then you would go in and you would study the 12th house. What does the 12th house mean? What does the sun represent? What does it mean when the sun is in the 12th house? Then you will know why you feel a certain way or why certain things are happening in your life. So I didn't want to talk about transits too quickly on the channel because transits are they're advanced. It's an advanced portion of astrology that a lot of people overlook. Personally, my main focus is transits. I love talking about transits. I look at transits all the time. And it helps me to better connect with my life and why certain things are happening in my life. One of the lessons with Mars in my 7th house is I'm learning how to deal with people better. How do I interact with people better? How do I create more of a harmonious relationship with other people? That's something that I'm personally working on. And if you follow me on my other channel on tarot, you see that I blow up on people and I get upset at people. And again, that's something that I'm learning to work on. A lot of people go on the tarot channel and they think that I'm going to be like some perfect person, like have nothing to work on. No, I'm not. I'm not a perfect person and I never will be a perfect person. I'm human just like all of you. And that's something that you all should know. So, homework. I didn't give you guys homework last time. I'll give you some homework this time, okay? So the homework for this video is find a transit in your personal chart. Okay? And if you're just tuning in now or you didn't understand anything that I said, comment below and the community will help you. I'll help you, the community will help you. Find a transit that's happening currently in your chart. For example, Mars is in my 7th house. I'm a rising Libra. Find your rising sign find your rising sign, and then find where Mars is, find where Saturn is. Those are two malefic planets that are going to teach you something very valuable in 2020. Learn this lesson now so when you get to 2021, you're not repeating and having to do it over again. That's the homework for tonight. Once you do that homework, let us know in the comments below where Mars and Saturn is transiting in your natal and how it's personally affecting you. Okay? So this is going to be a short video, only 25 minutes or 26 minutes for tonight. I'm going to stay on for another 30 seconds. If anybody has any questions and you're in this live, I know you all are not usually this silent in the, I guess it's late. That's probably why. But if you have any questions for me, 30 seconds, I'll be here. And you can ask me anything pertaining to the transits. If it's something personal, I can try to answer it, but I usually don't do personal. I highly recommend asking technical questions that are going to help you to find the information on your own. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Awfully quiet. There's 28 of you in here. How come you're so quiet tonight? 29 of you. Nobody has a question? Did you all fall asleep over there? Okay, so I guess nobody has any questions about the transits. All right, so I guess I will end the video here. All right, so you all do your homework and comment below in the comment section when you have all your information. And I will see everyone very soon. Bye.